A question so many people have when they're discarded by the narcissist is, does the narcissist regret leaving you? Do they miss you? Do they want you back in their life? How is their life now without you? And the short answer is, when they leave you, the moment that they part ways, or maybe they pushed you away, but it was their own doing, they don't miss you. They're not really thinking about you because their mind's in a different place. There's a couple different places where their mind could be when they discard you or when they push you away. One possibility is they've been focusing on another person, a new supply, and they're all engaged and enveloped in the idea of that person, and maybe they see this other person as their new partner going forwards. And because that toy is more shining, is the novelty of it shouts more loudly, they're all into that. So it's easy for them not to think about you because they're momentarily distracted. Another is sometimes narcissists don't even have people in the sidelines or in the pipeline, rather, but they're so confident they're going to devastate you. They're so confident that you're going to validate them through wanting them back, begging to have them back, that they're counting on that validation, which is still to come, to keep them in a good place. So when they discard you, it's kind of like, oh, in the next days, weeks, this person's really gonna show how much they need me, and it's really gonna validate me, and I'm gonna reject them every time they try to come my way because I'm better than them, but I'm gonna just watch them for them come. So that's the mentality. There are rarely other situations. Sometimes they just see no value in you, but narcissists don't really operate in that way. They don't really discard people because the person just has nothing to offer and they just want to part ways because the relationship's over. Usually the narcissist tries to get this kind of, post discard supply. They like the validation from knowing that the person who they left is miserable without them. It's just the way the narcissist rolls. So when the narcissist leaves you, they're on to something better. They're in a better place, so they're not really missing you at the beginning. They're not really wanting you back. You're not really in the forefront of their minds. But that place, that place where the narcissist is comfortable without you, that doesn't tend to last very long. And what I mean by that is, when they're on to a new person, that person's got a shelf life as well. They're not going to maintain a high interest in that new person for very long. Chances are it won't last very long. Chances are they're going to find out that that new person is simply human, doesn't have the ability to supply the narcissist consistently the way they need, and they're going to start to devalue that person, and they're going to start to look at that person through a less favorable lens. You know, or maybe they're not onto somebody new, but maybe they're just waiting for you to beg to have them back. Of course, if the narcissist discards you and you're begging to have them back, the narcissist isn't going to return, but they're going to be extremely validated by watching you suffer without them. It puts them in a really high flying place, knowing that somebody needs them that much, and somebody struggles to live life without them. But on the other hand, if you move on or you're no longer begging for the narcissist to return, you're okay with their absence, then all of a sudden they start second guessing themselves. They start doubting their decision. So in those two scenarios, when they're on to somebody new, in that case, and that person starts to become more boring in their eyes, or maybe they're not on to somebody new, but they're waiting for you to beg to have them back, but maybe you're not doing that. Maybe you're okay with their absence. Then all of a sudden they find themselves thinking about you and thinking about you a lot. Because the moment they're not under some super powerful distraction, euphoric distraction, or they're not being validated by you begging to have them back, they start thinking about you as somebody who has a bit more value, as somebody who they're curious about, as somebody who they remember all the good things that you once offered. And they're starting to worry that maybe you're going to offer those things to somebody else. So narcissists, they really flip like that, you know. It's all about getting their needs met. Narcissists like to think that once they're done with you, they're done with you for good. And because their mood and their mindset kind of shifts on a moment by moment basis. You know, one moment they might never want to see you again, and the next moment they need you back. You know, that's how their shift works sometimes. But when they do realize that you're okay without them and their current situation isn't great, then it's really hard for them not to have intrusive thoughts about you and intrusive thoughts about trying to get you back. You know, even if it's just going to be for a short while, because all of a sudden you're the most logical next step for them to get validation, and they think they can get it from you, if only they can get you to entertain them again. So yeah, I mean, do narcissists regret leaving you when they leave? Not initially, no. And sometimes they don't regret leaving you for a long time. And if you never recover, if you never really heal properly, they'll probably never want you back. There's something, there's a certain thing there around the healing aspect, because the first point is narcissists don't like when their former supplies heal. The second point is if the former supply doesn't heal and doesn't really recover from the breakup very well, and the narcissist can tell, maybe even years later, then the narcissist is comfortable never returning to you, never having you back in their life again. But it's in this alternative scenario where you do move on, you know, not in a gaming way. You can't pretend these things. You can't try to game them. When you actually don't really care about them anymore, when you don't want them anymore, that's the place where they often start getting these intrusive thoughts about how you're doing, who you're with, are you happy again? And all of a sudden, they want to partake in it because they have this sense of entitlement. They think that they're entitled to your good things. You know, in the best case scenario, you would never have anything good again. You would never seek anything good again. So they wouldn't have to come back to you. But the moment you do have good things, your head's in a good place, you're finding happiness again, then all of a sudden they're between a rock and a hard spot because they don't want to, you know, they don't want to show that they need you or want you back. But at the same time, they do. And that's where they usually do come back. Anyway, hope you found that helpful, and thanks for watching this video. Take care. Bye.